No, we're just project manager.
It wasn't a big deal.
We need a project manager.
Yeah, they never got me anyway.
You were waiting. We're not.
I'm trying to decide what this is.
Part of the audience.
Good luck to
Hey everybody, how you doing?
What a great day.
You got a big thing tonight you gotta be here for? I don't want What's that?
Medical rates.
Sure.
But it's still happening.
There's always something. Yeah.
Good evening. I'm District Secretary Nicole Gisali. It is Tuesday, August 4th, 2015, and this is a regular meeting of the Dublin-San Ramon Services District Board of Directors. Presiding this evening is President Ed Morgan.
Call the meeting to order. First, an announcement. A Financial Affairs Committee meeting of the Dublin-San Ramon Services Board of Directors was held at 5:15 p.m. today, August 4th, 2015. The Board of Directors of Dublin-San Ramon Services District Directors Halka and Von Leopold attended this committee. Pursuant to Government Code Section 54952.3, no director will receive any compensation or stipend for participating in more than one meeting on this date, as specified in the DSRSD policy P100-14-2, Day of Service. Please stand for the flags.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Director Von Leopold?
Here.
Director Benson?
Here.
Director Halkett?
Here.
Vice President Howard?
Here.
President Morgan.
Here. Special announcement.
Yes, President Gordy and members of the board, we have a very special announcement, some very special people in the audience related to recycled water program that we're entering into an extremely important partnership with the city of Pleasant. So Daniel, if I could call you up to the lectern and has a few words.
Great, thank you very much. Good evening, President and board members. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. I appreciate the opportunity to address you for a couple of minutes. Just for the record, I'm the soon-to-be retired Director of Operations. And that's one reason I'm here tonight is to thank the board members and the staff members, not only from DSRSD, but Derwa and East Bay Mud, who unfortunately isn't here tonight, for all the support and help that you've given us through the recycled water program. So thank you very much. Bert, to your staff, Ray, from Dave, who used to be your staff, to Redora and Dan Gallagher, to Dan. Maybe it is. We have a couple of Dans too. You guys have all been great to work with, and I really appreciate it. I was here tonight, though, to do one thing that I'm glad that I get to see the end of, which is the beginning of our partnership in the recycled water program. And if I can indulge you for a minute, I'd just like to give you an update on our program and where we're at, because you may not be aware of where we are currently. You may know that we were stuck in environmental wasteland with the state of California. We ran into a historical preservation issue in Hacienda Business Park. And if you've ever run into one of those, they're almost impossible to get out of. And we didn't think we would, but the good news is we finally got there. And what it was stopping was us getting our loan from the state for building the project. We were in for the 1% for 30 years. So we should have been much further along than we are now, but we had to get through that. The good news is we got through it. We got our environmental clearance. After that, we had to finish off the process of getting the loan. And I didn't realize there were so many divisions in the state of California that have to sign off on it. And no one seems to answer to anyone, but we finally made it through that checklist, and our loan was approved. Of course, until you have financing, as you know, we didn't have a project. Then the good news started rolling. Shortly after that, a week after that, we were notified by the state that we were awarded $5.2 million of the Prop 1 bond, which was some of the first money that came out from that. So that was kind of like Christmas in July. We go forward with the project. So that put us in a position to move forward in our contract with Derwa and DSRSD. And the next part of that contract was to authorize Derwa to build out the 6th filter and authorize you or notify you of our intent to want to participate in the expansion of the treatment plant as it goes forward. Not only as a partner, but also in grants and loans that are very accessible right now. So I know Derwa has a meeting later this month, and since I might not be available for that meeting, it was a pleasure to come tonight and present you with our authorization letter from the city of Pleasant to build the 6th filter and our intent to participate with you in the expansion of the treatment plant. And as part of that, there's a required first payment, which we also brought a check, which is always a good thing. And we rounded up, the amount was $473. It was easier to make it $475,000. This is the prepayment as part of the contract for the authorization. But the good news is we have the money for the full project. And you all been at the, well, not all of you, but most of you at the water policy meetings we've been having. And we know the issue we're in with the drought. And it's so critical that we move forward, and I know that you all agree, we move as quickly as we can. And Pleasanton's interested in hoping to help you do that project as quickly as we can, and we have the money to pay for all of that. So this is just the first step, and we encourage hopefully DSRSD and engineering and Derwa to work with us to move forward. The water's going to be good for all of us, so it's a great thing. The last thing that I wanted to tell you just before I go is you probably recognize another retired guy here, David Rico. With me leaving, we need to pass the baton for someone that's a liaison for us with DSRSD and Derwa. And Pleasanton would like to appoint Dave, he's our consultant in this project, to help us through the expansion, if you guys are okay with putting up with it.
You don't have to answer that.
We figured that actually might be a benefit. We hope. He knows it so well, and we've worked well together, and I think he'll make it easier. I know that you met Leonard Olive. He's been here at your board meetings. Leonard will be fulfilling my place when I leave. He's the assistant director of utilities, and in the letter we're stating that we've assigned him to work with you on our liaisons. So with that, again, thank you very much. I appreciate it. If I could give this to the secretary and then maybe ask you on our behalf to provide this to Durwell, because we know how close you work together at their meetings, since I might not be able to be there. That would be great, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
We'd like to at some point get some photographic evidence.
Okay, sure.
Come on, guys. Our new sign. Yes.
There we go.
All right, Mayor. Better than you shake, check anybody.
Don't get the whole.
Don, big spectacles.
Okay, so we got 4 or 5 pictures, so, please. There we go. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Where's Barbara?
Thank you.
You should keep it.
No, go over to
Yeah.
16 years.
Baby.
16 years.
Never say die.
President Martin, and Joyce, is it possible to get a couple of staff pictures with Daniel as well?
Sure,
Or
okay.
Jimmy, maybe you want, because I was going to invite you, Daniel, David, Leonard, myself.
Yeah,
I'd like to get
Absolutely.
staff.
I want to, Richard Sykes is unable to be here tonight. Richard was a key player throughout all the negotiations with the president, and he's asked me to express his disappointment he couldn't be here tonight, but just sometimes you're stretched to too many places. But Richard feels as good as the rest of us do about this. It's a great accomplishment.
Another name, Mike Tagliamini, tried to make it, but his schedule precluded him from getting here. He's still probably.
Yeah, because I think Mr. Sykes is.
Okay, staff picture, so come on up and fight.
Sure.
Or do you want to stand right there?
Where do you want to for? Yeah.
Why don't we get out of the way now?
Oh, I'm in the middle of that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
It's a bunch.
It's a bunch.
650 years of
There should be some lines up here designating their height.
What do they call a group of engineers? I mean, there's a herd of crows.
A matrix.
A matrix of engineers.
A scrum of engineers.
Thanks, Jim.
One of the last things about
Thank you, Lee.
retired.
Thank you. Good night, thanks a lot.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Item 5, public comment. At this time, those in the audience are encouraged to address the board on any item of interest that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board without already including tonight's agenda. And comments should not exceed 5 minutes. Do you see any public members that would like to speak? Seeing none, I'll close that item. Going on to reports.
Mr. President, Martin, and members of the board, I have a number of things. I hope I can keep them in order over here. My notes are a little cryptic for myself that I'm looking at. But let me start out with the event calendar. On Wednesday, August 12th, which will be next week, Wednesday, the district is going to host a celebration of the extension of our recycled water project in Western Dublin. The invitations to local elected and officials and senior staff of various agencies went out today. You have a copy of it in front of you. Obviously, the more of you that are there, the better. It's an important project for the community in these times of drought, and we'd like to celebrate that and move forward. Second item is on August 18th. The August 18th board meeting will very likely be canceled. We'll send out the official cancellation notice next week, but at the current time, there's no business that really needs to be transacted then. And I think for a couple of you, maybe a getaway day to head down to the castle conference. So I think that went well. Moving on to correspondence to and from the board, a number of things. You have a, excuse me, I believe you have all of these in front of you, so let me just mention for the record. Email of July 22nd, 2015 from Recycled Water Services at gmail.com. This is the two gentlemen that appeared here last time talking about their proposal that we're evaluating right now. They sent a thank you memo to the thank you email to board members. The second one is a series of email messages that originated with Recycled Water Service to Parks in Western Dublin. It was from Ms. Marlene Mazzetti. It was an email from her, correspondence back from the board, and then her and I traded a couple of emails on the same subject. The board was copied on all of that. And finally, there's a handwritten note from the, in front of you, dated August 4th, from the, I think it's the Cranford Lane residents, Dennis and Mary Ackley, and Tony and Janet Biggin, thanking staff, and I think thanks go to Sue's staff largely, is my guess, for participating in the, what they call the National Night Out celebration, providing information on water safety. So thank you, Sue.
Renee.
And you have a copy of this review as well. Moving on real quickly, agenda management. Hopefully this is not going to be too confusing tonight, but this is going to be a little bit of an interesting meeting logistically. I would note one thing. I would recommend that you remove item 8A from the consent calendar and take up that matter at the very end of the board meeting. I think it'll just lead to a little bit less getting up and we have some number of recusal situations. I think it'll just lead to a little bit smoother logistics if you handle it that way. And then I would note under committee reports, the Tri-Valley Water Policy Roundtable was listed. It was held since the last board meeting. We don't have the minutes prepared for it yet. I'd ask you maybe not to talk about it too much under your reports, but we actually have an item on the agenda where we give you an opportunity to really talk to the depth of it. And that's, I think, all the minutes that I wanted to mention.
One suggestion on the agenda management. If we take 8A and 9F, move them behind 10, four member items, that might make the flow even a little easier. They're kind of under fix. That case is. Yeah, John.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
After 10.
Well, I think I'll give you a motion to.
No,
All right.
you do them like reverse alphabetical order, so just,
Yeah.
let's get the vehicles.
All right, then let's, I'll take a motion to, in consent calendar to approve items 8B and C.
Minutes first.
Oh, yes.
Motion to approve the minutes.
I'll move to approve the minutes of July 21st.
I'll second.
Moving second to approve the minutes for our regular board meeting of July 21. In favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried unanimously.
All of it abstention there.
I'm sorry, the one that's abstention.
Gone.
Okay, that was gone. Okay. Now, consent calendar items 8B and C.
I'll move to approve the consent calendar items eight, B, and C.
I will second.
Moving second to approve items 8B and C on consent calendar. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries unanimously. No business.
Yes, President, Duarte, members of the board, the very first item is one you heard, I think everybody was running for about a week and a half now. Review and discuss the drought management program, actually opportunity for the public or community to give directions to staff about how we're managing the drought. I think that proof is in the pudding. Our community has responded extremely well to the drought, curtailing water use on a week-by-week basis. In some cases, over 40 or closer to 50%. We are well within our 12% target set by the state board for the year, and I think we're over 30% for the calendar year to date as compared to 2013. So I think the program is working well. We're going to talk about maybe one positive tweak to the program regarding one of the rebates on September 1st. But tonight, I'll have to
In terms of discussion, I would say just keep going.
Yeah,
We're doing
it's
well.
working.
It's probably.
Yeah, for sure.
The whole region has stepped up, that's for sure.
John, if you would, because I know you shared with me, I remember last time we talked about a bit of concern financially because we're over-conserving vis-a-vis the target. And you had some good news that make the rest of the
Yeah, looking at it, when we set the budget up, we weren't comparing to 2013 necessarily. So the budget was set at a 20% reduction. And we're at 20% compared to the budget. So we're on really our budget level. Our savings to 2013, the 2013 level was not used in setting the budget. We were using it a little lower rate anticipated there would be some savings. So bottom line is we are okay looking at projections and the rates that we are charging.
So essentially, we discounted the budget going in and then
Flat.
Okay, President Duarte, board members, this is the annual assessment of the Doherty Valley Standby Assessment District. The amount of the assessment is set at the maximum, which is the same as last year. This amount will be placed on the Contra Costa County property tax roll for all the qualifying properties in Doherty Valley. The amount is reimbursement to Zone 7 for its proportionate share of the state water project costs in that county. Alameda County customers pay their share of this cost through the amounts assessed by Zone 7 directly on their property tax rolls. The amount is only a pass-through. The assessment district is responsible to take the money it collects and use it only for payment of these fees. So staff recommends that you hold a public hearing, adopt the resolution approving the engineer's report or accepting the engineer's report, and then direct staff to have NDS actually levy the assessment for the standby assessment district. Is that the question? Yeah.
Any questions? At this time, I'll open the public hearing.
move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Let's move to second and close the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing is now closed. I'll take a motion. Any other deliberation?
I move to approve item 9B as stated.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve item 9B as stated. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Unanimous. 9C.
Good evening, President Board and board members. In the last 6 to 8 weeks, Dublin staff have advised us that they expect accelerated development over the next couple of years beyond what was built into the budget. We have seen an early submittal of inspection fees to the end of fiscal year 15 and a surge of inspection fees in the first month of fiscal year 16. Moreover, we're being approached by developers and consultants about acceleration of a number of projects. For example, Walls Ranch development on Tassacara Allen was anticipated to develop in 6 to 8 large phases, and developers indicated it might be constructed in half the time originally anticipated by Dublin and DSRSD staff. This additional activity will necessitate more utility inspection activity than was built into the fiscal year 16 budget. Both revenues and expenditures are expected to be significantly higher than the budget based on the latest information. Quality construction inspection is the very first step in asset management. Correct installation gets us started effectively on the long-term asset management path for our new infrastructure. Staff recommends that the board approve a resolution increasing the revenue budget by $568,000, increasing the inspection expense budget by $447,000, approving an update to a master agreement with the Cabela Group to extend the agreement 1 year, and approve a task order for $447,000 for additional inspection services. Staff is available to answer any questions.
Yeah, this one's straightforward, right? I applaud, this was a great use of outside resources instead of FTE for what might be well, thank you. With that, I'll move approval.
I saw that you,
No, that's okay. So now we discuss.
you had one, you saw, I saw that the Cabela Group was selected in 2012. How long is their agreement contract?
So their agreement was set to expire this month, so this will be a one-year extension to their agreement.
That's all. Motion?
Yeah, motion,
Okay, and moved and seconded to approve the operating budget increase and update the master agreement with the Cabela Group. In favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 9D.
Good evening, President Worth and board members. The fifth Water Policy Roundtable meeting was held on July 22nd. The main topics were an overview of the Zone 7 water supply evaluation process estimated to wrap up this fall, a continuing discussion about indirect potable reuse, and a presentation on community outreach and engagement on water supply issues. Staff and the agencies are meeting tomorrow to begin setting up a framework for a community outreach engagement program on water supply issues, particularly indirect potable reuse, as requested by the elected officials at the last roundtable. There were 6 major policy areas identified by the elected officials of the 6 agencies and Cal Water for discussion over the series of roundtables. 4 of the 6 areas, including the 2 highest priority items, have been reviewed. There have been a number of successes with the roundtables over the last 11 months. There's been more of a focus on discussion between elected officials on policy matters and less emphasis on staff-driven presentation of technical topics. The agendas have been driven by the elected officials based on their needs. The elected officials have themselves set the discussion priorities based on their consensus. There's been interactive discussions in smaller groups, allowing for interplay of ideas and opinions by the elected officials. In short, the Water Policy Roundtable agendas are guided more by elected officials than less by staff on these policy issues. This item tonight is an opportunity for the board to discuss the issues raised at Water Policy Roundtable number 5 and to advise staff of any preferences for the process going forward. Staff is available to answer any questions.
Well, okay, I'll start. I don't have any questions, but obviously as one of the attendees, I have some information. We got down to the point of saying, it was time to do something. We had met enough, we discussed it enough, we knew what direction we wanted to go in. And Nibbits and Pleasanton, they stepped up and offered to be the lead agency to start the discussion with, first of all, a survey, and then secondly, trying to figure out exactly what the community would accept. They're curious about, we're all curious about the issue with the twin tunnels. And as we know, Zone 7 thinks that's critical, but it doesn't appear that the rest of us think that. And the public probably doesn't even know what we're talking about. So the first survey or the first questionnaire, I'm not sure how they're going to put it together, is going to tackle those 2 issues. And then it's going to be starting to actually put a project together so that we can submit it for Prop 1 funds. And like I said, Pleasanton stepped up. They just offered to take the lead on it and get us finally going, and everybody agreed. A couple people didn't vote, I'm sure you can figure out who they were, but everybody else was gung-ho and ready to go. It was a very productive meeting, finally.
Is there any kind of timetable discussed for this first
No,
step?
not specifically. Do you recall a specific timetable?
No, that wasn't decided by the elected officials.
But I think the consensus was sooner than later. It was funny, the dynamic was interesting. First of all, Jill shared really preliminary information. I know that was, I pulled her aside afterwards, I thank her for that. I know that can be difficult for an engineer or somebody in a position of leadership in an organization to share stuff before it's baked, to make you look silly without bad doesn't happen. So, they shared some early information on the water supply. They are testing different portfolios, and this, I think, is the first time I've ever seen the zone kind of really test different portfolios. Now, we'll see the full report, but, they at least are talking the same language as the retailers now. And that's a good thing. Contrary to what you may have heard, I didn't throw anything. And Director Stevens and I did make up after the meeting. It was interesting. We got to the very end of this thing. We've been doing this for a year. And Director Stevens from Zone 7 gave a very impassioned speech that essentially the Delta water is 80% of our supply. Delta water will always be 80% of our supply. It's the cheapest water. It was the end of the meeting, and I think you wanted the last word in. I didn't let it happen. So we extended the meeting by a good 20 minutes and had a vigorous discussion about that. I think, and this might be something for staff to, I know Mayor Marchand and some of the zone people were feeling like we're off a portfolio and we're all in on indirect public reuse. I think the way to frame it is, it's still a portfolio, but any dummy can realize, any dummy realizes that any portfolio we have is going to have indirect public reuse. It's the one supply we control, the one supply we can move on right now. And so we're not discounting the other potential supplies in the portfolio, but it's the one we can do. And there's a lot of impatience at the retailer level, doesn't then, less, a little more. In Cal Water, they don't talk much because it really isn't effective. They just pass the water through what PUC says. But the retailers really want to get this started. So the outreach is going to start. It was implicit, I don't think it was explicit, but it was kind of implicit that sooner than later. There was kind of a last-ditch effort to, well, no, let's not do the outreach until the next study is done and codified. And, at least I think the marching orders that came out of the meeting were start getting the survey ready. That's always the first step of any kind of outreach program, and get going. We had a very good presentation by the fellow who spearheaded the effort to get Orange County's indirect public reuse approved. He had a slide deck. He had all the good lessons learned. I know Sue was there, and she was writing about so.
Which ironically was not much different than what we did before. It's just the public is, we believe, more accepting and more open, and oh my God, now we're in a crisis, so we've got to think about other alternatives.
I think all of us, at the political level and at the staff level, the thing that concerns me is it's not quite the UN Security Council, but it's kind of. I mean, we all have to kind of vote for this thing. We all have to want it to happen. And if any one agency really threw a roadblock, it'd be difficult to get it done. So, we got to stay together, at least at the retail level. And I've talked to a few peers about that in various cities, and they get it. So it's going forward.
I think Pleasanton will really push it. I'm very sad to see that Daniel's retiring. However, at my table was Leonard, and he's just as positive about going forward as Daniel was. So hopefully we'll stay the same course.
Pleasanton seems very enthused. Some of the Livermore City Council members seem enthused. The zone isn't blocking, they're frankly not as enthused. I don't think any agency likes having other people kind of up in there. They perceive as their purview, and I get that. Livermore, like I said, is not quite as, Pleasanton and us are ready to go.
Livermore's hard to read because Mayor Michon can't figure out who he's working for or who elected him. There's no doubt everything that comes out of his mouth is pro Zone 7. And that's never going to change. His history is with Zone 7. So that makes it difficult. We had a gentleman at our table that is the other council member, and I cannot for the life of me remember.
Councilmember Bob Warner.
Yes.
Yes.
And he was in the why haven't we done this before mode, so hopefully that's the way their council feels.
Well, the meeting started off with a member of the public stating very boldly that we don't pay enough for water in this valley, and we need to have a more reliable
Yeah.
supply, and he's very much willing to pay for it.
President Duarte, just for contextual information about Livermore, at their strategic agenda setting earlier this year that I attended, the city council of Livermore did express a lot of enthusiasm collectively for indirect global reuse, so that was a small workshop session, and they did frame their strategic priority in that area in an interesting way. The strategic priority for 2 years was to confirm Livermore's support for indirect global reuse. So it's not quite an action item the way it is for the DSRSD board. Yet still the language was written in a way where there's kind of an anticipated course of action.
Okay, so when does construction begin?
Well, let's face it, we have $475,000, we could at least start work.
Well, that's already earmarked for a fall there.
Yeah.
Well, in this year's capital budget, you budgeted for this fiscal year and next fiscal year, I want to say 300,000, maybe a little bit more, for a combination of public outreach as well as restarting the road facility.
Yeah.
So we'd like to start it out. It won't result in injection of water, but it was more of a demonstration of the technology, and monitoring the technology, and make sure it meets all the standards, sort of the center for the water district.
And that's actually
Sue.
important. That's important, is when you do one.
When we start the RO facility, we want a big party.
No, and that's important, because one of the keys to the outreach is, once this is real and you're making your road show and you're talking to the Rotary and all of the electeds are going to have to get involved in this, we're all going to have a thermos of RO water that we're carrying around and drinking out of in front of everybody, so having a plant, even if it's scaled, but having a plant that demos the technology key, if we can do that before anybody else gets organized, that's
And we can still take the effluent from that RO and mix it with our recycled water.
I didn't say that, that's exactly the thing, we had to recycle water, so it provides a marginally more, better water supply for the community, a little bit less salt, so it's not like the water's going to go to waste.
And we can give tours, I'm sure they're gonna wanna, people are gonna wanna see tours. Well, that's gonna be part of the outreach, they need to see the process. Before we took them to Orange County, and it's so big and massive that maybe a lot of people didn't sink in. But, now we can show them.
It might be also something that we might want to take, who's been to the Santa Clara Valley facility, the new one? I wouldn't, so we might want to collectively take a tour down there.
Yeah, I would recommend.
I think that's a really important thing because, and also with Sue, is Sue go? No, Sue didn't go.
I've been.
Oh, you've been, right?
Yeah, several.
But I think there's some education that we could do in preparing for tours that are new, starting up again, that we could incorporate.
Yeah, so, and that's what, the bottom line, positive meeting, there's some frustration brewing that if we have another meeting without some action, people are going to start to get off the boat, just because they're getting, it's getting a bit repetitious. So I'm hoping that the meeting schedules out, so something out of this outreach is showable before we try to get wording that.
Well, they'll know more tomorrow after tomorrow's meeting as to how serious everybody is about going in.
And part of it is, it was kind of nebulous about what's the interplay with the Zone 7 water supply evaluation. Does that need to come out first before we go on to further discussions? So that's also floating out there. Although it sounded like in the presentation that would be out, mid to late fall. So maybe that's the time for us to suggest to our counterparts one more water policy roundtable.
I don't think we need to wait for the some of the outreach portions. I don't think you need to wait for it. It's not going to make any difference to anybody we're trying to reach.
Those, yeah, the very detail. I mean, that's where Mayor Marchand was going, well, you know, is it going to be in the Aurora, is it going to be injected, I mean, nobody cares. You know,
Yeah, right now, we need
This
to-
level of outreach needs to be
Right.
more generic. I think, I mean, that's what I heard from the expert, if I misheard it.
No, I think Sue will agree. He didn't, and we didn't do it before. You get too technical and then you got somebody that's analyzing the facility as compared to Coca-Cola or something, and it's like, no, different process.
In a way, the outreach has already started, Ron Nichols wrote.
Yes,
Lengthy-
really good.
Lengthy and good article.
Yes. For some reason, I'm not sure what happened, maybe it's just the drought, but the Independent has done a 360 or 180, I should say, on this topic, and she's given him not only the editorial, but she's given him lots of column space. And he's done a really good job.
Well, judging from what you've all told me from 10, 12 years back, if you have the leader's perception and reception towards this process changing, towards getting something done, that's a very good sign, because Pleasanton is a very conservative community,
Yes.
so that's huge, I think.
I mean,
So I
it's
think,
too.
from our standpoint, man, just push forward and as hard as you can, we'll give you the support that you need.
And Kathy Merriam assured me that the times have changed.
That's big words.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
considering, way
Considering
back.
where they were.
All right.
I don't think Margaret Tracy.
No.
No, I mean, yeah, we're gonna have a small.
You're gonna have.
You're always
you're gonna-
trapped.
Yeah, we're gonna have a
There'll
small.
be more than minority.
We're gonna have a small
managers.
endocrine disruptive crowd, and then thinking the growth wars are over. That's the big, you know, if the growth wars have settled down, then it's a distinction.
Okay. Any other input? Okay. Moving on to 9E.
President Duarte, board members, the item in front of you is healthcare contributions for employees. You have in front of you an item to approve an amount expressed as $1 per month that the district will contribute towards the cost of an employee's health insurance. The amount of the change in the contribution from year to year is based on labor agreements and personal service agreements with staff. The amount has been determined based on the revised rates that CalPERS came out with in June of this year. Overall, the contributions proposed in here will increase about 4%, and they would be effective January 1, 2016. As you may have noted from looking through some of the details in there, some plan increases are larger than others, which may impact enrollment in select plans when we get to our period of open enrollment. Staff's also reviewed documentation. We're in compliance with requirements of the Affordable Care Act, as you see it now. The action required here is the board must adopt this by resolution, so that can be sent on to PERS to document our support for. And if there's detailed questions, Michelle is present, she's been working on this. We'll make one other comment. In some of the details, you'll see the historical growth in the amount of the contribution. I think Bert and I were talking about it one day when I looked at it. You can see, I think, the intent of this formula that we had was to moderate increases. I think the consensus has been very successful in that sense. So if there's any questions?
It's pretty much like the university.
The one thing I would add is that these numbers aren't actually very much out of line with what I'm paying private sector my employees, so that's good. And I just wanted to thank the employees again, because we took care of this back in 2007. I know there's a lot of entities, like ours, municipalities that are still having to battle this battle. So work together and we got to get out. So I always thank the going through this final process.
I'll move approval of the health insurance contribution for calendar year 2016 for the various levels of employees listed.
All second.
Been moved and seconded to approve item 9E, approve the health insurance contribution for calendar year 2016 for the management employees listed. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now,
I am recusing myself from any participation in any discussions, decisions, or voting on the health insurance contribution for calendar year 2016 for the Board of Directors. Item 9F, to ensure that I neither influence nor attempt to influence another member of the DSRSD Board regarding any matters pertinent to the item consistent with applicable provisions of the government code because I receive health benefits as a retired board member of Dublin San Ramon Services District.
And even though by some quirk of the law, which I don't get on this great, maybe someday, I also receive the benefit as an active member. I guess technically I'm not required to recuse, but out of an abundance of caution, I will recuse. And so I don't have to make two trips. I am also recusing myself on 8A, which is coming directly after this, because the parking in my house is within 500 feet of my home. It's being retrofitted, and the FPPC, or infinite wisdom, decided that that makes sense. I made my use of that new building very much abundantly aware of you guys. Last time, I'm not going to do it again. I'll see you for item 10 in a few minutes.
all right.
Okay.
So, Taylor's hand.
Okay. President Duarte, remaining board members. The item in front of you is healthcare contribution for the directors. There's currently no policy that establishes that the health insurance contribution that directs how much for board members. Historically, the board has approved contributions similar to those as for employees. Obviously, this is handled separate because of the comments we've just heard. Currently, the amounts provided for board members are $603 for a single, $1,207 for employee plus one, and $1,569, $1,569 that is for a family, that's a board member or employee in this case. The board has the discretion to set any amount of its choosing, and whatever selected for active board members will also apply to non-vested board members. There are 6 retired board members, 4 with coverage through the district. See the amounts that were available to employees, the amount that the members now can take no action, current rates. Any questions?
This is puzzling. Okay, so whatever we set for our current board members, you said applies to retirees according to this. Is that to protect the retirees, or, I mean, can the retirees have an amount greater than the board members, or is it has to be exactly the same in every case? And the reason, I'm trying to figure out who we're trying to protect. And the reason I'm asking around that way, I'm also going to ask kind of like about phasing. I'm beginning to wonder if this board wants to provide itself with medical insurance at the same rate as a full-time employee. You know, some cities are going away from that. You know, most, we do all of our homework, we're kind of like quarter-time employees. And so I'm beginning to wonder if is this something we should phase out in some future time? Just just give ourselves a little cash raise instead. I'd like to see the appropriate committee think about that, but it's kind of a moot point in my mind if there's no way to phase without impacting retirees. I don't want to do that because they serve under given conditions. You know, they presume to have given conditions, and I want to preserve that, because that's how they serve. But I'd like to see a future board get away from that. Just my opinion.
Let me maybe turn to Michelle, and I know you're out there. Do you have any insight as to whether the board can, I think the question, Director Howard, is could the board set a lower amount for current employees and then somehow, apart from PERS, provide some premium help for the currently retired?
Right, yeah.
In other words, does PERS prevent that? Do you know?
What I know is that in accordance with PEMCO regulation, is an equal contribution method. So whatever you set for your actives will apply to your non-vested retiree annuities. However, for certain employee groups, this action were taken separately for board members. I think the discussion needs to further whether we could drop to the minimum required contribution would be something that is permissible or not. I don't know the answer to that now, but.
Well, I guess my question to my remaining two of you that are here, is this something that interests you? Should we send it to Administrative Affairs or just forget it? Go on.
Process-wise, I would suggest if this is something the board is interested in, you can certainly refer it to committee. I would encourage you, though, to take action.
Well, yeah, we'll take action on
Right,
this.
we'll take action.
There's a time on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it should go to committee.
You think so?
I have an opinion on that too. I've always.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we can do that later.
Yeah, we can express that
Yeah,
later.
that's a different discussion.
But-
Tonight we need to focus on what we're doing here.
Yeah, so after we vote on this, I would like to see it go to committee.
Okay. That's fair.
Anyway, with that, given that there's not really choices today, I'll move for approval.
I'll second.
We need to have you specify the amount.
Oh, and the amounts that are listed to be the same as,
That's the employees.
yeah, as the employees here, 603, 1207, and 1569.
Those
are- Those are-
Oh, those are the current.
15.
The other ones,
Let's see,
we're
where are
on
we?
track to 627.
1254 and 1631.
Let's see, where
It's in the previous.
It's on the attachment to the previous item.
Okay. Those amounts on the attachment to the previous item is what I'm motioning to approve.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the health insurance contribution for calendar year 2016 for the board of directors in the amounts of employee only 627 plus ones 1254 plus family 1631. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously with the 3 remaining board members. All right, let's go to,
And we will refer that matter to committee.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what you can come up with, but yeah.
We can come up with something.
all right, let's go to 10.
Oh, we're gonna.
8A.
8A.
I'm sorry.
And
Back to 8A.
one of them can come back, but I have to recuse. So we're gonna switch places.
Okay, so it's your turn to read the
Okay.
recusal.
I have to read this whole, well, not the whole statement, we've heard it before, but it turns out that on item 8A, even though there's no property within 500 feet that benefits from this particular item, there's a pipe running underground within 500 feet. So apparently I have to recuse myself for the very same reason Mr. Halker did. And so I will do so now and send Georgine back in.
Yes.
All right? Good job. Georgine's turn.
I know. I have no script on. I'm just relaxing.
This is very confusing. I think the state needs to quit fooling around with things.
Okay, then, moving back to item 8A on the consent calendar. That would be, yeah.
This is an item to award a construction agreement for on-site conversions associated with our West Dublin recyclable project. It'll affect 35 sites.
Questions?
Pretty straightforward. I'll move to approve award construction agreement for component 2 of the recycled water expansion phase 1 distribution to West Dublin on-site conversions project CIP 15R009 to Valley Crest landscape maintenance.
And I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to approve consent calendar item 8A, awarding the construction agreement to Valley Crest Landscape as read. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously with our three remaining votes. Now, vote.
Now we can call them back.
Now we go start back.
What? They should. It's their absurdities.
Now that the full board is back, we'll go on to business item number 10, board member items.
Nothing here?
I'll let you go first and I'll follow.
Okay, the only thing additional that I attended last month was the meeting on Friday morning with Congressman Swalwell, and Ed was there, and it was very, very good discussion with him on what he can do at the federal level to help us, and anything more than that, I'll let you elaborate.
He definitely took charge of the meeting, and with Bert's overview on where the district stands and where the Tri-Valley stands, I think he got a greater appreciation for what we're dealing with out here. He then facilitated what he called a cloud note-taking session, where he asked for one opinion, one recommendation from every single person in the room as to what we thought was a key item of importance in moving forward and trying to solve our water problems. And again, I think he was listening. His new deputy chief of staff is our former mayor, Tim Zabrani. So the message got through to him. The emphasis to him from the group was you could do something by facilitating grants to get the pilot project started. So it was a very good meeting, very interesting.
Yeah, he started out with asking what everyone thought was the most important thing he could do, and basically it did come down to money, federal money, as well as trying to do something with the federal agencies so that the process is easier for us to do water transfers, and maybe that's because the Bureau of Reclamation needs more employees, because it takes them so long to actually do things. But I also went Saturday morning with him at the Defeat Drought over here at the fill station, which was very, very well attended. You know, Sue said, well, I was there from about 10 to noon. Sue said there was a constant flow of people the whole time, and with the tents that were set up, East Bay Mud was there. Alden Nursery was there, which was really good, because you know that's been some of the problems that people have complained about is what will work with recycled water and, you know, what won't grow. Everything in my yard's growing wonderfully with recycled water. But yeah, it was a really well attended, and Eric stayed for probably 95% of the time. Tim was off talking to people, Eric was off talking to people, so it was really well attended. It was a good step for him to take on behalf of Dublin, definitely.
One last note on on the Friday meeting, it was interesting when he asked for the opinions for the one-shot opinion from each person. Overwhelmingly, everybody was talking about a better approach to storage, increasing our storage. So that, I think that point was well made to him. I also attended the Saturday session with that he hosted there at our recycle station. And he asked me to give him a tour of the little, and so I took him over and introduced him to a couple of the people that were filling up. And he sat there and asked, he must have talked for 10 minutes to this one retired Teamster that was filling up his tank. And then he went 2 trucks down and filled and talked to that person. And of course, KPIX was there with 5. And then he quit. Wow, cool. 9%. A good turnout.
Yeah, it was.
Very well received by everybody. That's it for the report. Don?
No, my husband attended both my parents and my husband attended Saturday. I was at a wedding.
We even had a lady stop, and unfortunately it was about 5 afternoon. What's going on? I don't know what's going on, but I saw everything, so I thought I'd stop and see. Well, here, let me.
I will have to say that when I was in Montana, they are having a drought as well. And so recycled water, and there's some discussions with them about recycled water there, because that's now starting to swirl around.
Okay. Moving on to business item 11, closed session. At this time, the board will be going into closed session for one closed session. This is on the agenda, public employee performance evaluation pursuant to Government Code Section 54957, Title 20. While this board meeting will continue, this broadcast will be stopped at this time. It's great, there will be no report.
I mean,